Hello everyone and welcome to Dream Team. I'm Trent Lenkarski.
And I'm Alice Langlois.
And we're on episode 21 of Dream Team, second one of the year.
It's a cozy podcast where it's cool to talk about your dreams.
Yeah.
And this is the second time we're recording this because my Audacity file deleted itself.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. We're just you're gonna get a primo experience with this episode because we had a rehearsal, which we don't usually do.
Yes, this is going to be pretty much one of the best episodes ever, we decided. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's the 1 million subscriber special.
It's the 1 million subscriber special. Just kidding. Not yet.
Not yet, but you know, you gotta dream big on Dream Team.
Oh, yeah. Say, I heard that you had a dream.
Yeah, one that you totally haven't heard before.
Yeah, I have not heard this dream ever. Did you have this dream at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I did, but it's not my first dream of the year. I unfortunately don't remember my first dream of the year, but I was looking through my notes and I found this one from January 6th. So it is the first dream that I wrote down this year.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, there's no Mount Fuji, eggplants, or hawks. But, you know, I think I'm going to have a pretty good year anyway.
Yeah.
The main thing about this dream was that it occurred in a really interesting theme park. There was no sort of narrative that I can remember. So this is more just my memory of this very interesting location that I went to. In my notes, I compared it to possibly being like Disneyland or Disney World, even though I have not been to either of those two places in my life.
What?
I also, in hindsight, don't think it was worth that comparison either because it was not particularly grand or well designed or really anything at all like a normal theme park. So not really sure what I was thinking with that one. But what I do remember is a sort of winding cobblestone pathway at the beginning with people in kind of interesting costumes that were checking tickets. And I remember either from looking at a map in the dream or just having sort of like a third person perspective, seeing sort of an overview of the park. And in a normal theme park, it's like one big built up area that is usually divided into smaller themed locations. This was not that. The smaller themed locations were very weirdly separated from each other in this sort of like isolated grassy forested area. Like you'd have to walk in the middle of a grassy field for a while to like get to a different area to do stuff, which doesn't seem like a very good design to me. And I don't remember if I visited a lot of these other locations. There was only like 3 or 4. But what I do remember is the central one, which was this like huge cylindrical pit that was very deep in the ground with a waterfall that spilled over the edge that you would actually use to get into the pit. I think via some kind of boat or like flume log ride situation.
Whoa.
But it wasn't like a ride. Like it was a straight down waterfall. So I don't Also some pretty bad design.
It sounds awesome.
At the bottom, I don't think so.
Sounds like fun.
Maybe. Thankfully, I don't really remember if we went down the waterfall or not. But at the bottom of the pit, there was like little like rides and attractions and activities and stuff. And then around the walls of the pit, there were windows that looked into people's rooms. Like it was also sort of like a resort, so you could stay there. And I guess if you had a lot of money, you could like stay in these fancy rooms in the side of this theme park pit, I guess. And then in the very center of the pit, there was this huge sign that like was so tall you could see it above the edge of the pit if you were outside of it. And it was all vertical lettering and sort of like gold and glowing, almost like a marquee sign. And it did not say Disneyland. It said Vacationland, which, if you are familiar with the New England state of Maine, is their state slogan. Because I guess it's just a really good spot to have a vacation. If you ever see a Maine license plate, it's on the license plate. Or if you're driving over the Massachusetts border into Maine, there's a sign, big fancy sign that says Vacationland on it. Which is just, I don't know, it's always seemed kind of funny to me. I personally love taking a vacation in Maine.
Yeah, Maine's awesome.
But I don't know if it has like national reputation for being the like hot vacation spot of the country. So I don't know. That was a cool thing that my brain did, and I kind of love it. It was super fancy too. Like it was wider at the top than it was at the bottom, so there was like a huge V, and it just sort of got smaller as it went down. It felt like, I don't know, something you'd see in like Las Vegas maybe.
And you said it was at the bottom of the pit?
Like it was attached to the bottom of the pit, but it was so tall you could see it over the top of the pit. Does that make sense?
Oh, dang.
So it was like this huge tall, it was like several stories tall.
Whoa.
Yeah, big fancy sign.
Cool.
Not the kind of, something you'd see in front of a casino, not in Maine, for sure. And the only other notes I have on this, because I don't really recall a narrative, was I had the power to open and close portals, which I have been able to do before in dreams, but I also had the power to shrink and grow, which I have never done in a dream before. Ooh. And was particularly impressed when I woke up, because when I shrank or grew, the perspective of the environment around me changed to like match my size. So like, and I know this sounds like kind of a obviously thing, like obviously if I got really small the world would seem really big and vice versa, but the reason that I point this out is that, you know, and this is just my experience, but usually when like my brain decides to give me some kind of superpower, it's like kind of limited in terms of how accurate it feels physically. Like I know that I can like turn into a dragon or like turn invisible or like fly, but because I have only ever experienced being a person, I don't like, it doesn't exactly like, I don't feel scaly, or like I don't, like if I look down and know that I'm invisible, I can still see myself, but I just know that nobody else can.
Right.
Or if I can fly, like I know that I am flying, but it doesn't feel like probably how it would feel if I really could fly in real life. So I don't know. I feel like I might have had dreams in the past where I'm smaller than I actually am or larger than I actually am, but it was just sort of a thing that I knew, and I don't think that the world seemed to like match the perspective I was supposed to have. So this was really cool. It was just like a really quick response. Like I'd get really small, everything would seem really big, and it would be like, you know, just like a completely different experience getting around. And I don't know, it was really fun. I don't really know if I accomplished anything by doing that, but I just remember being like, oh, this is cool, and just like running around really small for a while.
That's awesome.
So I don't know, I hope it's something I get to try again at some point.
Yeah. I have to make an obvious joke.
What?
Talk about Alice in Vacationland.
What? Oh.
Instead of Wonderland.
Instead of Wonderland.
Someone had to.
Alice goes on a weird hallucinogenic journey to Maine. Wow. Yeah. There's no bulletin boards here. Whoa. Crazy.
Heck yeah. That's an awesome dream.
Yeah. It was fun.
Cool.
I heard though that you actually did remember your first dream of the year.
Yeah. No, I wrote it down.
I would love to hear it.
So I had this dream the night going into the first of the year. same as you, unfortunately, no hawks or eggplants or Mount Fuji, or the additional three things. I forget what they were. None of those. But yeah, so I had this one on the first, and it was just that I was like moving back to college. It wasn't like the college that I went to. It was just kind of like, oh, I'm starting college today, and so I was like in, I don't know what college it was, but so I was in like a dorm room with three people that I went to high school with, but they weren't like close friends. It was just like three random dudes I went to high school with. But yeah, so I was just sort of starting at a new college with these three random guys from high school, and it was mostly just all in the dorm room. I didn't really see like the whole setup. There's only really one major thing of it, which was like, like it was a view of like my bed, where my bed would be, and then there was another bed in front of it. So like, a classic dorm setup. So like, foot of my bed ends with the foot of another person's bed. And then, but the one thing that I thought was funny that I remembered was, for whatever reason, one of the guys like had a motorcycle, and he was kind of like, hey, I can't like park this next to my bed. Can I like park it next to your bed? So I just had to have like a motorcycle next to my bed. And the conflict I had wasn't like, oh, like I won't be able to get into my bed because there's a huge motorcycle in front of it. It was like, hey, I'm going to need you to move that soon because I'm going to be putting in like my nightstand there. So that was like the main problem that I had, was like, that's kind of stressing me out how there's a motorcycle when I need to put my nightstand there.
That's really good.
But yeah, that was pretty much it for my first dream of the year.
Wow. Motorcycle in the dorm room. I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it too. Yeah, you can't really have a motorcycle inside like that. But
I mean, that would stress me out too.
Yeah. So that was it.
I love, that's like a classic dream logic thing, right? Where like, you don't think about you're not stressed out because your roommate is parking a motorcycle in your room. You're stressed out because it's in the way for your nightstand.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just like,
exactly.
I am actually really concerned that my roommate is crazy and like has a motorcycle just in the dorm and we're going to get in trouble. It's like, no, man, I was going to put my nightstand there.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And another classic dream thing of like, not being people that you're close to. It's just like three random dudes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, person I talked to once 10 years ago. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's just like your brain is like going through a filing cabinet of every person you've ever met. And it's just like, now this is a interesting one. We don't even really have a file on this guy at all. Let's just throw him in there, see what happens.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay.
We'll do this guy and this guy and this guy, and we'll put them in college dorm. Yeah, let's do that.
And let's add, just for some spice, motorcycle.
One motorcycle and go.
It's like almost like you're being. And I feel like I'll have to look into this. I feel like maybe this is a thing, like a possible theory for like why we dream. But like, it's like your brain like putting you into random simulations to like make sure you're prepared for like, I don't know, life scenarios.
It could happen.
Yeah, so it's just like, all right, let's just like, hit the randomizer button every night, and then this guy will be prepared for anything.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so good.
And I'm prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, if your first dream is indicative of anything that's going to happen this year, it'll show that you're unfazed by motorcycles being up in your business.
Exactly.
Or just very patient around social obstacles.
Yeah. I think I'll be okay. And then if it's okay, I did have one other really short one, but it is a similar theme. So
yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Kind of works. And this was from 2 days before, so this was December 29th. So I must have just had college on the brain, because the other one I had was just that I was in a hard math class, which is a real thing that happened, and the professor's name was Mr. Kane, which is like weird because he looked exactly like the actual college professor I had, and his name also started with like a CA.
Whoa.
So it was like my brain didn't want to just be like, all right, this is the real guy. It's just that guy, but different. And that was pretty much it. Just that I was like in the class and then he was in the front and I was like, I know his name is Mr. Kane in this for some reason. And then at one point afterwards, I went to some like group study because it was a really hard class, like it was in real life.
Oh.
And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Having those college dreams. That's cool.
Yeah. Two pretty much back to back.
Huh.
But yeah.
That's so interesting. And correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you still home?
Yes, those are both while I was home in Massachusetts.
I wonder if that's related at all. Like when you were also more likely to be spending time at home was like when you were still going to college.
Yeah, maybe.
Just like activated some like college and high school memories because you're in a place where you went to college and high school, like geographically. I don't know, just thinking out loud.
No, that makes sense.
Kind of cool.
Probably subconsciously thinking about both of those time periods too. So
yeah, I mean, when I'm out here, I have a lot of work dreams, but when I'm home, I feel like both in terms of my dreams and just like, you know, stuff I think about without really thinking, like just things that pop into my brain, they're more to do with like my family or like people I know from high school or college or whatever. So, you know, just by association.
Interesting.
Kind of cool. Hey, do you want to hear a dream fact?
Yeah.
This one I'm kind of excited about because I didn't really know anything about it, and it was something that we got a listener email about. So I'm going to read the email we got. It's from Holly. And Holly wrote, "Hi Alice and Trent. A while back, my mother told me something that I thought was very interesting. She said to me that she has only ever had one dream that was in color.
Whoa.
All the rest of the time throughout her life, her dreams have been in black and white. She said the one time she dreamt in color, it was when she was encountering a lion. She said it was so striking to her how yellow the lion was in her dream. I think I also heard that many people in my mom's generation similarly only dream in black and white, but I haven't looked up the numbers. If that's true, then I wonder if it has to do with many of the television shows being in black and white while my mom's generation was growing up. Of course, I can't know if that for sure, but it's very interesting to think about. Hope you two are having a great year so far."
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I've never heard of people not dreaming in color. I personally am pretty sure I always dream in color. I don't know about you.
I think so. I was as you were reading it, I was like, I feel like I've definitely had some that were just kind of like grayscale, like, or like just sort of like tinted dark blue or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I've definitely had some in color for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even the dream that I read on this episode, like I remember the color of the Vacationland sign. I remember the grass being green and the stone paths being light gray. So like, I don't know, I think I'm always dreaming in color pretty much. But I was fascinated by this, and I read a whole bunch of studies and articles. I read an article from New Scientist magazine. I read a study that was published in the National Library of Medicine. I read part of an article from Medium, a whole bunch of stuff about this. And what's interesting is people have been talking about color in dreams like kind of since forever. There's this quote, the article in Medium written by Carl Jennings, he says, "Accounts of dreams by people living before the 20th century often contain descriptions of color. People like Aristotle, Descartes, and Freud, to name a few, often described the presence of color in their dreams." So it's not like, you know, it's kind of a newer thing that people have been talking about dreaming in black and white.
Yeah.
So, like, basically, nobody ever really thought about this. And then randomly, from, like, the early 20th century to, like, the 1950s, people started talking about how they dreamed in black and white. And so much that it was just sort of, like, an assumption that, like, all people dreamed in black and white. Like, it was just really, really common.
And this is before TV, right? Or
sort of. It's like the dawn of TV.
Okay.
So, yeah, like 1915 or so to the 1950s.
Okay. I feel like a lot of photographs back then were very just like grayscale or
right
tintype, so they were all just kind of the same color. So maybe that would be an influence too on it. I'm just thinking, sorry.
Possibly. So yeah, like from in that time period, we just got to a point where everybody was just collectively agreed, like, yeah, you dream in black and white most of the time. And then all of a sudden in the 1960s, people started dreaming in color way more. The problem is that the reason that we know this are from two different studies, one that was done in the early 20th century and one that was done in the later 20th century, and they were done kind of in different ways. So the first study, where they concluded that people dream in black and white, they had the participants of the study answer a questionnaire about their dreams in the middle of the day, so like kind of a while after they had the dream. And then in the later study, where people said they were dreaming more in color, they were writing down their dreams in a dream diary, like right after they woke up.
Okay.
So there was this scientist, her name is Eva Merzen, and she was at the University of Dundee in the UK. I think this was done in like 2008 or so. She decided to do a study that used both methods, and she did a sampling of people. There was like a group that was people who were 55 and older, and then people who were 25 and younger, or like around there. And she had them both answer a questionnaire about like media they were exposed to as children and like their dreams, and then they also wrote in a dream diary. Sorry for any additional sound effects. My cat is making a little nest behind me, but she's settled down now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so this Eva Merzen, she was curious about specifically childhood exposure to TV. Not like, have you ever watched black and white TV ever, but have you specifically watched black and white TV when you were a kid?
Okay.
And so she found that only about 4% of people 25 and under said they dreamed in black and white. So a really small amount. And I think like 7% of people who were 55 and older said they dreamed in black and white, specifically if they were people who hadn't really been exposed to television a lot, or hadn't been exposed to black and white television. But anybody who was 55 and older who said they had watched television a lot as a kid, about 25% of those people said they still dreamed in black and white, which is pretty significant. So she kind of theorized that the media that we are exposed to as children has like a significant impact for the rest of our lives on like the kind of dreams that we have, which could totally be related to what Holly's mom was experiencing in the email that she wrote to us. And there was some other studies I looked at that had kind of like wild percentages as well. Like generally it seems like in all of these studies there is some downward trend in people saying that they dream in black and white. So there was like a study in like 1942 that I checked out that said they thought 70% of all people dreamed in black and white, and then another study that was done in 2001 that said only 17% of people said they dreamed in black and white.
Oh.
So regardless, it seems like with all of these studies, less and less people dream in black and white, and it could very well be that it has to do with people having watched a lot of black and white TV in the 20th century. Of course, the other, like, you know, slightly less exciting explanation is that we're maybe not that great at remembering our dreams, and if there's no significant presence of color, and you ask somebody if they dreamed in color or not, they might just say no, because they can't remember. And then something that I was curious about, and I don't know if, like, this is not something that I was able to find any research on specifically, but just something that I know about. There's this phenomenon called aphantasia, which is when you can't visualize things in your head. I have one or two friends that have it. It's like when I, like, if I said, like, think of an apple, like, do you see one in your head?
Like if I close my eyes?
Or not, like, do you see it?
Like, wait, like how?
Like, think of an apple.
Okay.
Like, can you imagine it?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and it, like, does it have any, like, is it red? Is it three-dimensional? Is it, you know?
I don't know if I can imagine an apple. Wait.
But, like,
I know what an apple looks like.
Yeah. But like when you think of something, are you, like, sort of visualizing it in your head?
Kinda.
I mean,
wait.
Well, this is actually kind of what I'm getting at. So, like, there's sort of a spectrum where, like, for example, I imagine things very vividly. Like, I could imagine an apple right now, and I could imagine, like, being able to, like, rotate it in 3 dimensions, like, see all the details, see the color of it, regardless of whether or not my eyes are closed. Some people can't do that at all. Like, they just don't visualize things in their head. But in between having aphantasia and being able to fully visualize things, somewhere between having aphantasia or not being able to visualize anything, and then the other end of the spectrum, which is being able to very vividly visualize imagery, I've read that, you know, some people can only imagine things in a very simplified way. You know, they might only be able to imagine, like, a very crude version of an apple, for example. And somewhere in there, I think that maybe some people can only imagine things in black and white. Like, they might not be able to visualize color. So I wonder if someone is on the spectrum closer to having aphantasia, if it affects the way that they're able to dream. But I don't know. That's just an idea. I didn't like read anything that specifically said that. It was just a thought that I had, just knowing I have a couple friends with aphantasia. I'll have to ask them if they dream differently.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, like, for example, you know, I've talked to them about the experience of reading a book. Like, when I read a book, I see what's happening in the book in my head. But when they read a book, they don't see anything at all. They just hear the words in their head.
Guess I never really thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'm like, I wonder if I have it a little. It's like, I feel like I can kind of see it, but
it's possible. Well, I truly think it's a spectrum, and I wonder if you are on that spectrum where you might have trouble visualizing things, if it might affect your ability to dream. And if you can't visualize color very well, is there a higher percentage of those people who dream in black and white, even if they've never seen, like, black and white TV, for example?
Right.
Just something to think about. Not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really interesting. Holly, thank you for emailing that to us. I learned a lot about all these studies and just the brief couple decades in the 20th century where we were like, yeah, people dream in black and white. And then everyone was like, actually, never mind.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. I also got a lot of really good dream submissions this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a bunch from new listeners. I'm really excited to share some of them.
Heck yeah.
I was thinking I'd read the first one, which is actually from my sister, who is not a new listener, but she texted me this.
This is nepotism. This is nepotism.
She doesn't usually send. I think she's only had one other dream on the podcast.
Yeah.
But this one, it's not scary in the traditional sense, but it's off-putting, and the way that she described it, I don't know, maybe it's because we're sisters, but like I can totally understand why this would freak somebody out, and if I had this dream, it would also freak me out. And she also provided a drawing, which I will be including on our Instagram, which is at Dream Team with Alice and Trent.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm really excited to send it to you because I can't wait to see what your reaction is.
Oh boy.
For context, before I send you this image and read this, have you ever read a creepypasta? Like a video game creepypasta?
Oh, yeah.
Where someone's like, I put in the haunted Pokemon game, and when I turned it on, everything was the same except Pikachu was crying.
Yeah, he was crying blood, and the background went black, and he started to come out of the video game. Right. Well, I was playing my Minecraft world, and it was all normal. But then there was the skin man.
I hate the skin man. Yeah. Well,
and he was collecting players' skin, and
gross.
It was bad.
This is not that scary, but it kind of reminded me of those. And what it also kind of reminded me of is the dreams which I hate the most, which is ones that seem normal except one thing is slightly off. And even if that thing is not scary, I think there's something extremely off-putting about looking around and just noticing that something is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get into it because I don't know. This one's just pretty incredible to me. It's short and sweet though. Ruby says, last night was the first time in a long time that I woke up from a dream scared, like when you can feel your heart beating. And in hindsight, the dream sounds extremely silly. It also only lasted like 15 seconds total. I think I actually forced myself to wake up from it because I was so scared. Basically, I was playing a Kirby game on my Nintendo Switch.
Kirby.
And I randomly lost control of Kirby.
No.
I wasn't able to move him around. And then he just slowly turned toward the screen and looked me right in the eyes. And his face was just ever so slightly not correct. And it really freaked me out. And I saw Henry in the office. Henry's our brother. In hindsight, he was standing holding one of the boys, and she means one of our cats, and staring at a wall, so I should have known something was off. So I was like, Henry, come here and be normal, because I was scared. And he came over and just said, what? And I didn't even look up or see his face at all, but as soon as he came over, I just knew he wasn't normal either, and I immediately woke up. And that's from Ruby. And I don't... again, it's there's nothing inherently scary about this or anything that she experienced, but just I've had those dreams where you just know something's wrong about somebody, you know?
Oh yeah.
And that's just so scary. So I'm gonna send you this picture that she drew of the weird Kirby that she saw. And I just want to get your reaction because it's funny, but if I saw this in a dream when I was expecting to see normal Kirby, I would also get really freaked out.
Yeah. Wait, that's hilarious though.
Can you describe right now what you're seeing?
It looks like normal Kirby, but his eyes are just too big. And they're kind of floating off of his body a little.
And his mouth is way lower on his body.
Is it? Oh, I guess so.
Just imagine that slowly turning towards you.
Yeah, no, I could see why that would be freaky.
Like it is funny to
does.
look at now, but if that was in my dream,
Yeah.
I think it would scare me.
Yeah. Or if it like looked a little too realistic
Right,
like that.
right, yeah.
I can see that. But yeah, I know that exact type of dream where you like kind of force yourself awake.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, something scary is about to happen. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, you just know, and like I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna do anything. I just know that it's wrong, and I need to get out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Dang.
shivers down my spine, Ruby. Thank you for sharing that.
Spooky Kirby. Thank you, Ruby.
Do you want to read the next one?
Yeah.
I put Michael B on purpose because we've been reading a lot of dreams lately from Michael. I'm gonna call him Michael F, who's our resident lucid dreaming expert.
That's right.
This is a different Michael.
Okay.
So hi other Michael.
Hello, Michael B. So Michael B writes, "Hi, Alice and Trent. I found myself laughing out loud at a couple of dreams people have submitted and been spooked by others. My dreams are similar to Trent's, in the sense they aren't really full stories usually, but rather quick glimpses. So I thought I could give you one. Heck yeah, welcome to the club, Michael." Michael continues, "I was in a boardroom, supposed to be paying attention to a presentation, but a fully naked man was splayed out in front of me. He makes it very difficult to understand what is happening, as he seems determined that I look at him. I try moving to a different chair, but no matter where I go, he is suddenly on the table in front of me. I move my head around trying to get a better view, but all the other business people in the room look at me like I am making a scene. They seem to either not be able to see the naked man or view him as a necessary part of the team. I'm not sure. The naked man takes up more and more of my vision as I try harder and harder to see what the presentation is about, as if he is gently floating closer and closer to my face. When he takes up my entire view and his nudity engulfs me, I wake up. Thanks for the really fun podcast, and I look forward to more wild dreams in the future. With snoozy reverence, Michael."
I love
Thank
that
you very
one.
much, Michael.
So good.
Yeah. Hey, look at me.
It's just like slowly getting closer to you. Just like trying to see the PowerPoint, and it's just like this.
Yeah.
Sorry, this like sorry. Actually, can you stop?
No,
Can
wait,
you pause?
look.
Wait, can you pause for a sec? Wait, there's this guy.
Look over here.
And everyone else in the room is like, dude, what's your problem?
Michael, shush. We're having a meeting.
It's so crazy. I
Very
love
good.
that.
Excellent dream, Michael.
Oh man, I gotta say, got some really funny ones this week.
Yeah.
This one from Philly sent me. Philly writes, "Hello, Alice and Trent. I'll go by Philly. I'm fairly new to your podcast, starting just over a week ago, but
Whoa.
finally had a dream I can remember. Oh, welcome.
Welcome.
2 people and I were shopping in some sort of Walmart. I will call one person Mike, just 'cause it's easier. I didn't recognize him. After filling 2 carts full of stuff, we walked over to what we thought was a cashier. Mike turned to me and said, 'You know, I know a way to get a nice discount,' and proceeded to explain shoplifting to me." Hell yeah.
5-finger discount.
Yep. When we started to put stuff out for the cashier to scan, we were interrupted by some guy asking her about a missing poster for the letter I. What in the Sesame Street? Oh, like the actual letter I.
Oh.
We learned it was just an info booth, said sorry, and started to walk towards the actual checkout lines. The info booth person then told us that we needed to buy our stuff and... Oh. The info booth person then told us that we needed to buy our stuff, and the only way to do so was online. We thought that was stupid, as we were in the store, and walked away. Then security was called on us. Running away, I suggested to Mike we pretend to still be shopping, so we turn into the orange aisle, which is like the vegetable aisle, but just oranges. Gotta love the orange aisle.
Yeah.
Security kept chasing us, and we ended up getting into an orange fight. Not throwing the oranges, but squeezing the juice at each other. Ugh.
Awesome.
And used the environment to our advantage. I had the bright idea of mashing up an orange and throwing it. It hit one of the security guys' head, and we all froze because that was not allowed. And Mike shot me in the back with more orange juice. As I lay on the floor, I complained to Mike that I couldn't have seen him because my head was on the correct way. I woke up after that.
Whoa.
That's from Philly.
Interesting.
I really like that one.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I love just like the idea of like leaning over to somebody and just be like, you know, I know how to get a real nice discount here, and just be like, so you just take the stuff and you just take the stuff and you walk out. You just steal it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like free.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I like how everyone freezes when you throw it at the security guard. That is not allowed.
You can't shoot above the neck. That's illegal.
True.
Gotta keep it below the shoulders.
Yeah.
But below the shoulders, above the waist. Is that paintball rules?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Clean up in the orange aisle.
Yeah, jeez.
That's
More stores should have an orange aisle.
I know. I want to go to the orange aisle. That's my main problem with most modern grocery stores. Not enough oranges.
Mm-mm.
How am I supposed to get my vitamin C?
I want a full aisle.
Just all oranges.
Oranges and tangerines and clementines and mandarins and grapefruits and navel oranges and
all right, so the rest of the podcast is
juice.
just going to be Trent listing every orange that he can think of.
That's actually about it, I think.
Oh, all right, never mind.
Blood orange.
Oh man, well thank you everybody who submitted dreams this week.
Amazing dreams.
As always, was completely delighted. I read all of them, and I appreciate every single email that we get. And if you do have a dream, where can people send it?
You can send your dreams to dreamteampodcastsubmissions@gmail.com. That's dreamteampodcastsubmissions@gmail.com. That's our dream mail.
Or, I mean, it is our dream mail.
That is our dream mail address.
And if you don't have a dream to submit, but you have a question, a comment, something that you're wondering about, a dream fact you'd like us to explore, send us an email. I was really excited to see Holly's email. I hadn't really ever thought about people dreaming in black and white, so always learning new things from you guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that either.
And I know I mentioned it earlier, but check out our Instagram page at Dream Team with Alice and Trent. I will be posting my sister's bizarre rendition of Dream Kirby. I don't know. I don't like the way that it looks, but I also can't look away. It's certainly.
I also
something.
I think it's really funny and not scary, really.
No, out of context, I don't think it's scary. If I did dream about it while trying to play a normal Kirby game, I would be scared.
Yeah. That would be spooky, yeah.
Would like to see a creepypasta about that. There's no blood or tears or skin man, but and then I saw Kirby and his eyes were a little bit too big and his mouth was a little bit too low.
Boy, was it too low.
I screamed and ran away.
Yes. I wonder. Oh.
What?
Never mind. I wonder if she thought that Henry's face was gonna look like that.
Oh, that I don't like that.
Like that, I could see you having a dream and being like, "That's what is gonna happen again."
Oh, I don't like that. Like that would, that would freak me out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Sorry.
No. On that
I'm using
note,
dream logic. I'm just using the dream logic.
This is very true.
But yeah. Oh, and also for the Instagram, if people want to send their dreams there, they can do that too.
Yeah, you can shoot us a DM.
Or a question too.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah.
we'll read it and it might end up on the podcast.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you can check out Dream Team on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And if you're listening on Apple, it would be awesome if you give us a rating or a review. Same thing with Spotify. And if you're on YouTube, we love reading all your comments. They're super sweet.
Yeah.
It always makes my day when I see a new comment on one of our episodes.
Yeah. Give it a like and a comment if you want.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys. And I hope that everyone has some good sleeps tonight. Some good dreams.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing spooky. Maybe something funny and strange.
Hopefully no naked men on the boardroom table.
No, or on orange fight. Unless it's just for fun. As long as nobody's getting hurt.
Yeah. Fun orange juice fight.
Mm-hmm. And then you have to just make sure you email it to us.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Man, do you think if we do this podcast for long enough, people will start having dreams about Dream Team?
I think so.
Do you think we'll have dreams about Dream Team?
Yeah.
That's
I
how...
I already have.
Oh, because of the editing?
I had that one. Yeah, I had that one Tetris Effect dream.
Right.
Where I was in Premiere. I was just seeing all the lines moving.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's when we know we need to take a break.
Yeah. It's going to happen when I edit this tomorrow.
No!
No. Heck yeah. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Have a good night, everyone.
Sweet dreams.
Good night. And then evil Kirby showed up, and instead of sucking up enemies, he was spitting out enemies, but they were all covered in blood.
And the text box popped up on the screen that said, "Kirby is going to kill you."
Yeah.
And the sky, the clouds were raining blood, and King DDD stabbed
King Evil
Kirby
with a giant axe.
And then
there's two evil Kirbys because Kirby heals really quick.
Screaming and crying because I couldn't turn it off.
And then I heard a knock at the door.
Man.
And it was the Skin Man.
No, not the Skin Man. Dude, we're going to give people nightmares. We're trying to create cozy vibes.
We're talking about creepypastas.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.